Hello everyone, this is going to be a really quick video, just a quick review. This album's been out for a little bit. I just listened to it for the first time this evening, and the album I'm speaking is Greenfields, the Gibb Brothers Songbook, Volume 1. It is a Barry Gibb solo album, and actually it's his first UK #1 solo album, so congratulations to Barry Gibb. It was produced by Dave Cobb, who many of you know produces Chris Stapleton's records, the country singer. Barry Gibb talked about loving country music growing up. This album was released as a country album, and it's really a duets album with Barry and some of the Nashville popular folks of the day, as well as some older legends. And they take some greatest hits of the Bee Gees as well as some deeper cuts. You have folks on here like Keith Urban doing "I've Got to Get a Message to You," Brandi Carlile doing "Run to Me," Jive Talkin' with Miranda Lambert and Jay Buchanan of the rock group Rival Sons. You have Olivia Newton-John on "Rest Your Love on Me," Jillian Welch, David Rawlings on "Butterfly," which gives the album its title. Sheryl Crow, "How Can You Mend a Broken Heart," Tommy Emmanuel, "Little Big Town," "How Deep Is Your Love," Miranda Lambert on "Jive Talkin'," Alison Krauss, "Too Much Heaven," Jason Isbell, "Words of a Fool," and Dolly Parton on "Words." This was a really neat album. My complaint with it, I guess, is that with it being a duets album, it's not all Barry Gibb singing, and so I wish there was a little bit more of his vocals in the album. But there are some really neat renditions of these songs. Probably, I'd say my favorite would probably be "To Love Somebody" that he did with Jay Buchanan of Rival Sons. It sounds like the original, but it just shows Barry's older voice, which is still Barry Gibb. You can tell it's Barry Gibb, but it means a little bit something different now that he's older to sing "To Love Somebody." And he mentions there's really no liner notes. There's no booklet. It's just two sides of the inner sleeve are words that Barry wrote for the album, and he says he feels deep down that Maurice and Robin, his brothers, would have loved this album for different reasons. "I wish we could have all been together to do it, but I think we were." And of course, he lost his brother Morris at least 20 years ago, and then of course Robin died just in the past few years. Again, it's not one of these albums, that it's not one of these albums that I'm gonna crave to listen to. I'm happy I got it, and Barry Gibb, he's so much more than just Saturday Night Fever disco music. If you listen to some of the early Bee Gees music, it's very British Invasion, very pop, very psychedelic. Actually, my favorite Bee Gees album, and I've mentioned my friend Chris. I've recommended this album to him as well. It was actually for the only album that the Bee Gees were a duet. Robin left the Bee Gees briefly, and Morris and Barry put together, it was a TV special called Cucumber Castle, and the album is the same name, and the cover of it, they're both wearing armor and holding helmets, like medieval armor. Very folky. It's got some country influences. So you can really, and that was way before their disco era. I think it was 68 or 9 was when that album came out. But there were some country influences there, so that he's had country in his veins. As growing up in Australia, country music was big in Australia. So it's neat to hear his music with these players. There's some session guys that everybody would recognize, and you read their names. Some members of the different artists, some of their band members partake in the songs. But I mean, I recommend it if you like Barry Gibb, if you like the Bee Gees music. This is a fresh take on it, and just get it alone for his tracks with Brandy Carlisle, Alison Krauss, Dolly Parton, and the Jay Buchanan, To Love Somebody. Those are worth it, just to have the album, just to hear those. But there are other. I mean, there's no bad cover on here. But again, it's called Greenfields, Volume 1, which obviously means you think they're going to come out with some more. Who knows how many songs he recorded during those sessions. So I would like to see another collection. Hopefully, it'll focus more on some of the earlier pre-disco songs. But anything's fine. Barry Gibb is a brilliant mind, very underappreciated as a writer. So check this out, Greenfields, the Gibb Brothers Songbook, Volume 1. Take care. I'll see you soon.